I'm Deborah Richmond. Behind me I have a beautiful little quilt that would be fantastic as a baby quilt or just a nice summery sunshiny quilt. And I'm going to show you how to make this particular pattern. To make this block, here's what you're going to need. You're going to need 2 squares that are 2.5-inch squares, yellow and one that is blue. Each of these strips is 2.5 inches wide, so you could use this pattern with a jelly roll very easily. But next we have 2.5 inches by 4.5 inches, and you want both of these to be blue. Next we have 2.5 inches by 6.5 inches. We need a blue one and a white one. Next we need 2 strips that are 2.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and we need 2 white ones. And finally we need 1 strip of white 10.5 inches by 2.5 inches. So let's start putting these blocks together. So first we're going to sew our 2 squares together, the yellow and the blue. Now we're going to pick up one of our 4.5-inch blue strips and sew that to the end. Next we pick up another of our 4.5-inch blue strips and we're going to sew that to the end here. So you can see we are working clockwise around the block. Next we need one of our 6.5-inch strips, the blue one. Again, working around the block. You see we have a full square of blue now, and then 6.5 inch here starting with the white on the side. Have those sewn together. Now we're going to pick up our 8.5-inch strips, a white one here on this end, and continuing to work around clockwise, a white one on this side. And then finally, after sewing these last 2 strips on, we have our final strip, which is the 10.5 inch, and so you can see that now completes our block. And so now that you have your completed block, you can see that this quilt is made just of blocks. You don't need sashing in between. So you can see the block, here's the block right here that you just created. And then next to it, here's the next block you just created. This quilt has 4 blocks across and 4 down. This makes a nice baby size quilt. If you want larger quilts, you're going to simply just add more squares lengthwise and widthwise. Thanks for joining me.
And be sure to subscribe to our channel. You can do so here by clicking the subscribe button. That way you'll find out about new videos as they become available.